So, alright, perpendicular bisector, this was a pretty simple one. All things considered. Remember I showed you the mechanics? Put your dominant hand on the top of the compass. Put your offhand on the, not like on the pointy part, you don't want to get stabbed, but you should be holding it around the pointy part. And really, you want to apply the most pressure on that pointy part. So here, let's do number 3, right? Because this was like, it's like slanted, it's not even horizontal or vertical. And let's do a perpendicular bisector. Okay, so you want to put the point of the compass, the one that stays stationary, you want to put that on one of the endpoints of the segment.
Just one of them?
You want to then open up the compass until it is at least halfway, or a little bit more than halfway ideally. So somewhere just beyond halfway. And then lightly draw an arc, having gone just beyond halfway on the line segment. Then you're going to go to the other endpoint and do the exact same thing. Put the little tip on the other endpoint, and then when you go slightly beyond halfway, and when you draw that arc, there should be 2 intersections. So connect the 2 intersections with a straight edge. Yes. Yes, that's where you show your work. Yes.
I think I was of mine before I sat down. When I sat down, I put it on the seat next to me, and I forgot it.
Where's that at?
It's just up the stairs, that little area.
I guess. Go ahead.
Thank you.
If you were to measure this with a ruler and with like a protractor, you should find that this is 90 degrees. You should find that the distance, like let's say I were to call this M, the distance from E to M would be the same as from M to F. You're not right-handed, I know that for basketball, right?
I'm left-handed, I'm ambidextrous.
You're ambidextrous?
That's a cow.
Well, the issue that you're going to have is that your pencil is not even with the, you want to lower it a little bit. So that, you can't get a good draw. Now tighten it. Now the pressure goes on this.
Yeah, that was good.
Here you're just going to be just kind of like, all the pressure has to be on the tip. Push that. It's the exact same. Come to F.
He's home.
No.
You're jumping down or is it?
And now connect it. Connect the 2 intersections with a straight edge. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you're already messing up there because it's
I need another one. This young one you hold the pencil.
that compass is tripping.
Facts on folks.
sorry.
Surprisingly.
Stuff in there.
You thought I was, huh?
This one's still trash too.
I know, trust me.
I like 3 years. I don't know what we all did one. But you looked at all of them already.
Can it, if you guys ask for it, all the homecoming?
I know.
Dennis.
Looks like you just have to take
Dennis,
2.
oh yeah, CD party. What happened?
Keep the same exact
We
distance.
did. How we blew them twice? How we blew them twice?
I was ready so bad to go on. The first time they were here, parents were partying, and I don't know what to say. Yeah, they were there to party. And then her parents came home early?
Any questions on perpendicular bisector? Yeah.
Thank you.
Muhammad, you cold?
You cold.
Yeah. Can you try to brave it for me, man? Thanks. Construct a segment or an angle that is congruent to the given segment or angle. Alright, so we've already done congruent segments and we've done congruent angles. So if you want to review on that, go watch the video. That one's online, that's what we did last week. We did congruent segments and congruent angles, so that page is in review. Okay, now this we haven't done, so let's do this, angle bisectors. Who remembers what the purpose of using a compass is?
Draw a circle.
To draw a circle? Okay, fine. Okay, yes, compasses draw circles, but why? Why do we use circles?
To get, a certain degrees for the circle.
Nah. What does a compass accomplish?
Direct.
What does a circle define as? Fine, like, let's take your definition and let's build on it, right? You said it draws a circle, fine. So what is the definition of a circle?
A circle is a circle on all sides. Line that has that last all congruent sides.
I know, I said the exact same thing last time, right? You just said
Congruent spaces.
Yeah, did you just say all these good sides? Circle has 8 sides.
Yeah, no, from the mid
A circle is
segment.
360 degrees.
The mid segment.
Kill it. Right.
Circle is a set of all points that are equidistant from a set point. That set point being the circle.
That's what I said.
So it's a set of all points that are equidistant, same distance.
I did not even take
I heard.
Mixing. Midpoint.
So when you use a compass and you keep the setting the same, you know that the distance is the same as whatever circle you were trying to draw before. It's the same space between the sharp tip and the pencil, right? Well, on an angle bisector, once you draw an angle bisector, if I were just to draw one here like just a free sketch, at any point that's on this angle bisector, it should be the same perpendicular distance to each one of the sides of that angle. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish now with the compass.
See the distance.
Okay? Equi, yeah. So let's get the compass again. We're going to now place the tip of the compass, the sharp tip, on the vertex. And you can open your compass really at any distance here, as long as it fits on the side. So I'll try to open it like somewhat comfortably, something like that, right around there. And then I'm going to just draw an arc, making sure that that arc makes contact with both sides. Like that.
Oh. Come on, let me check your bro. Didn't work.
Was it cool?
Okay, so once you have that, now you can just repeat the same thing but from each of those points. Put the tip
What?
So put the tip on the arm.
I started off with the tip of the vertex, and I drew an arc that connects both, okay? So, you can change the distance if you want, but you don't really have to. Now just get and put the tip on on where it crosses one of the sides.
Oh.
Where that arc crosses one of the sides, and then just do the same thing. This is not drawing for me.
You want a full circle?
It doesn't know, it shouldn't be a full circle, but I couldn't get my thing to draw, so.
So what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do?
You want us to put the body part in the thing?
Put the pointy part, see where I have my pointy part?
Yeah.
Right here?
Keep the same distance. Keep the same distance.
No, what is important though, is that whatever distance I use for this arc that I just drew now, that distance I have to keep the same when I bring it over to the other one. That's what's important.
So it's not
I
the
don't know how
same
this
distance
term
from A
moves.
to B?
Huh?
It's not the same distance from A to B?
Well, now when I draw this second arc, there's my angle.
You're finished.
The point that I'm gonna connect is where
I did it so long.
those last two arcs intersected. And there's your angle bisector. How many total arcs did I draw? 3. One of them just told me where a point that was of equal distance from the vertex. Then once I have that point of equal distance, if this is like a little loose, just leave it open.
Okay.
Mr. Romero,
What was the third? I'm so lost.
where'd you get the third one? I don't know why nobody used this one.
Yeah, I didn't get the third line either. I was doing the same.
Oh, let me get it then, cause I need it.
I'll do another one, and then you can follow along on that one.
He's still the same one.
I just did that one right now.
Yeah, but we don't know the third one.
Okay, alright. I'm gonna just read it.
The other side.
Just read it.
What you
Have
want?
another pen?
Hold down my finger. Alex. Yo.
Didn't you present just already? Yeah, you presented already.
That was fire.
It's okay.
I just turned them in at 2:45 in the morning.
Wow.
It's a company, I got a project, so.
This thing isn't a motion.
Call it up.
You have this. Yeah, that's do the exact same thing from here.
Somebody call it a protract.
He
Where
did.
those two arcs cross, that's where you call it.
Josh.
Projector in. You already did this.
I don't care.
You did this. Now just do the same thing from here. The other, from here. The other point where it's first started crossing.
different.
And now do the exact same thing. And at that point, it's.
No, we just draw
See, like,
down the
you
middle.
guys complain that I'm going too fast, but then you want to start like talking to each other when I'm trying to demonstrate on the board, or even though I'm talking to some. 3 arcs. The first one connected both sides, and that just gave me a point on each side of the angle that was equidistant to the vertex. Once I have those 2 points that are there in blue, now I just draw another an arc from each one of those points. Wherever those 2 arcs cross, there's my angle bisector. Here, I'll demonstrate on here on number 2. Let's do the same thing on number 2.
Would it be helpful if I drew that line?
Huh?
Draw that line, that's bisecting A.
Yeah, now you use your straight edge, and you connect the vertex.
I still don't understand.
Okay, let's try again. Here. Put the tip on the vertex.
Alright. Tip.
Draw an arc that connects both sides of the angle.
God bless you, my guy.
If your compass is it moving while you're doing it? Okay, so look like, try to hold, this looks like it gets a little bit tighter the more you open it. So just try to keep it as wide as possible, maybe something like that would be, because in that way it won't move.
Bless you.
Then we put it on one of these, right?
Yeah, you also see how uneven it is.
You know the way you avoid it?
Should be like level with the game. Now just get the same thing and do it from here, and then do it from here. Those two arcs touch.
Rapper. His name is.
I haven't touched anything. I'm gonna do another arc. Okay, and then another one from this point. Those two cross right there. Okay. That was that is right. So look, now that I have these 2 points that are equidistant from the vertex,
Shut up.
Equidistant.
put the tip there and draw an arc. Put the tip on the other point where it crossed the side and draw an arc. Those two have to be the same though. Like you can't adjust your compass between one and the other. But notice how those two arcs cross. Wherever those two arcs cross,
Where'd you start? Yeah, how'd you draw the second line to the X1 like that? I missed where you connected to that. I was trying to draw on my bad.
here's the tip. First, put the tip on the vertex.
No, I got that one.
Okay, then move the tip to one of them and do a part of a circle. Move the tip to the other one. Those two should cross.
That's the only thing I
Why didn't you just say that the first time?
Who, me? I looked at that. I said I need the second one on the X. Yeah, that's all.
Now that you have this drawn, and I'm noticing a lot of you guys don't have the pencil tip even with the sharp tip. That's gonna affect.
How you make this pen tighter?
Special needs adoption.
Put the same tip here.
That's what my ruler says. Special needs adoption.
You thought that was funny?
It's not funny.
I forgot.
I was gonna say.
Who gave you that?
It's disrespectful because I was saying gay.
Oh, so you're trying to tell me about that special?
What?
Maybe not race now. Okay, I forgot.
I didn't say nothing about
Racist, y'all.
I could get a compass, not a compass, sorry, I can get a protractor
Even to one.
and prove that this worked. Because if indeed I did bisect the angle, what should be true if I did bisect the angle? Each of the two smaller angles should be the same, right? So let's see. Okay, it looks like that one half of the angle is around 32 degrees, roughly.
Wait, I don't got a protractor.
And then, you don't need to, you can just watch me. And then the other one, once I adjust it, it's a little bit off, but it's right around the same 32, just to say that's good.
You present it?
Yes.
I don't think his you almost got me saying
I call early every day.
Yes, it works.
I just be jail.
I stopped eating
I be going down.
I didn't eat drumming today.
Try to see it on
Whoa,
This is on a movie.
what kind of gadget is that?
Oh, German chocolate is faster than doing, she said.
People, that's the toolbox.
Here you go, Jair. Don't say I don't take care of you, buddy.
You don't.
Oh man, look at the end you messed up, buddy.
I ain't messed up nothing. I ain't even touch it yet. Don't put none on me.
Whoa, that was fine.
What? This that expensive.
No, it's not.
Oh. Hey, guess what?
Anybody
It's
else
working,
need-
ain't it? That's working, ain't it?
Just slide it.
That thing. Working out.
Click, click, click. One more, one more.
Hey, Mickey, you don't make it.
Good, I got this.
Hey, any other questions on this one?
Yes.
You care about his grip?
Yo, nope.
Okay, parallel lines. You might want to listen here, because this one here might be the most challenging one of all.
Oh, of course. This jaw line is terrible.
How's this one?
It's called using a ruler.
Wait.
So like this. Boom.
Just any
Wait.
stop, distracting my learning environment.
Are these,
Okay, you ready? Because then you're gonna be lost. Alright, so it tells you what to do up there, but I didn't really like those instructions, so just follow along. Get your compass and put the tip on the point that he gave you. So I'm doing number 1, I'm putting it on X.
You had checked out.
yeah, this is
Put the what?
He said, put it on that dot.
tip, bruh.
Put it on the top.
I hear you.
Put the sharp tip where the point is. And open up the compass.
Doesn't matter.
Open up the compass just long enough so that
It touches his
it can
arm.
at least reach, it can at least reach the line.
Okay. Then we just draw like a half circle.
Okay, and then draw where it touches. Have it touch the line up 2 times.
Wait.
So like go all the way around?
Huh?
Go all the way around so it touches twice?
Yeah.
Oh, like
This
that.
makes sense.
Wonder.
Mine's not gonna.
Oh, you said let it touch the line.
Yeah.
That did not work.
You said let it touch the line?
Oh,
Is it working? But you can't what?
I understand this stuff.
Yeah, this is
Wait, but mine right?
Yes, mine was right.
No, I'm talking about
No, like, this is so simple.
Something like that? Like that.
I can't get it to...
This thing.
There we go. Good God.
That's really good.
I need to.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't even think you need you don't even need the second one. Like, you can probably get away with just having it touch once, but
What's so hard about that? Is this like
just have it touch like on the.
Mr. Yeah, everybody's thinking.
Makes
Just have it touch like once there.
How's
Why
that
do
so
we have to
hard?
draw like that?
Huh?
Why do we have to draw it like that?
Why do you have to draw it like that? What do you mean?
How's that
But you just
parallel?
like not following the directions, so he's like just follow me. So I'm like, why are you drawing like that?
Well, it's simple to follow than the directions. I try reading the directions to see if it might be easier for you to follow, but I determined that it's not the easiest thing to follow, so.
And then, do we just connect,
I'm waiting for it. If I continue, then you guys told me that I'm going too fast, so I'm just trying to see.
it doesn't touch the line twice.
Okay, so you
Just have it touch once, that's fine, just have it touch once, you don't have to have it touch twice. That's
Yeah,
fine.
boy.
I was just trying to get you to have this like not open up too big.
Okay, so when we get our test, how are we supposed to know how to?
You're not gonna have a test on this.
Mine touched once.
Yeah, if you wanna go away from what I'm doing, be my guest, that's fine. You don't have to, you can do whatever it is you want. But there is not gonna be a test on construction.
There's gonna be a quiz.
Huh?
This is
Wait, so like, is this whole packet or like just the practice part of it?
The whole pack. And you have it till Friday.
So we can.
That's all we're doing, is making a little.
Huh?
What did you say?
Have it be long enough to touch somebody. I said already twice, so just have it touch once.
Yeah, somebody was
Just have it touch once.
You decide? I'm gonna be able to give you stories.
And the more you have it touch towards the left, the better off you probably are, because it gives you a little space.
You know, everything else.
Snap your back half, type in probably into your existing.
Just make sure you keep that distance.
And they quick.
Don't let it move. Okay, and now we're just gonna go around the world. So now we're gonna keep that distance.
No, why did do that?
Right now. Oh, we got it later.
Paper's not gonna be.
Now, if Leilani, if what you're looking for is an actual reason as to why, like why I'm doing it this way, and not, like, if it's just not, that you're not looking for an excuse to get mad and blame somebody for something, can it, by keeping the distance the same, by keeping the distance the same all the way around, like I'm about to do, what am I really constructing? A circle. They want a line that's parallel. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a compass, and I am,
Do it. Thank you.
I'm picking a place to, like, even though I'm not actually drawing a line or a segment,
I don't know. Hey, right.
okay, I'm picking a place across there, so like I could connect that, but I'm gonna keep that distance and go all the way around. What type of a polygon has opposite sides that are parallel, but is the same distance all the way around? Has the same side. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm making a rhombus. That's basically what I'm doing.
I guess.
So I'm gonna then come now to this point that I just made, and again I'm gonna now connect. I'm gonna make a little segment there.
Yo.
Keeping the same distance?
Yeah, just keep the same distance the entire way around. Because what I'm doing is making a rhombus, and a rhombus accomplishes what I did, and it does it a little bit easier than the way that they explained it up there. Yeah.
This is small.
So I know that you guys spent the weekend reading through the packet and trying to do this stuff on your own, but, you know, so did I. And I just think this is easier to do. So then I'll come around again, I'll make another arc,
I wanna go over so sick.
and then at the end, the last thing I'll do is go back to where I started, which was the X, but instead of going down towards the line, I'm gonna go up towards the arc that I just made.
Wait, what? Same distance?
I kept the entire same distance all the way around. So here, to sum it up, it's easier if you pay attention to me. I made a point here with the compass. I kept the same distance. I made a point here. Okay? Then I drew an arc because what I didn't know, I didn't know in this area, I didn't know where those two arcs were gonna cross. So in order, how many points do I have on the paper right now, both in black and in blue? No, I have three. Once I get that fourth point, the idea would be for that fourth point to be parallel, to make a parallel line with the X, with a line that has already been drawn. But I don't know where that fourth point is going to be, so I get an arc from here, from this blue dot, I get an arc back from the X that I started with, And what I've done, if I wanted to actually draw all the lines, for all intents and purposes, is I made a rhombus.
Yeah, film me, because I got a circle.
This goes on.
Now, you can see that what I've done is correct, because on my tools, even though it's not super precise, but on my tools, what word would you use to describe that line M?
Parallel.
No, the line M, the original line M that's drawn on your paper. What word would you use?
Pre-image.
No, it's a line. It's got two arrows.
Pre-image. Image.
As far as the direction that it's headed, how about that? Here's a clue.
Pre-image.
What direction is that line M going? Horizontal, right? You would say it's horizontal. And so if I'm going to draw a line that's parallel to a horizontal line, that new line should also be horizontal, right? So with technology, when I draw a horizontal or vertical line, it'll snap into place. Like it'll snap, like yeah, it'll let me move it if I want it diagonally, but if I get to horizontal, bam, it snaps it for me, right? So notice how this horizontal line is going through the arc that I drew in X. Yeah, it's a little bit off because maybe when I drew it, the tip wasn't perfect. I can't be as precise on the computer as you are with the actual compass, but you can see like it's pretty darn close to passing through the point and the arc. Let's do the exact same thing for this next line, which is just a little bit it's a little bit slanted. It's not horizontal or vertical, but let's see if we can accomplish the same thing. Okay. So I bring the tip over, I put the tip right on the X. Let's see if we can follow along now. Open it up wide enough. I said for it to touch twice because I was just trying to get your distance to be like, I didn't want you to open it up too big or too small. But it doesn't really need to touch twice, it only really needs to touch once. So, see how I went too far there. I opened it up a little too big, so I'll close it up. And there I went too small. It should work. Oh, that's a little too.
Put a tip on a dot.
Alright, that'll work. I'll just do it from there. So I'm going to keep my compass the exact same. You see how I happen to have it touching twice on the line, but I really don't need twice. I'm just going to use one of those points. I'll put a point right here. That's where it touches the line. Now, keeping the compass the exact same way that it was, Charisma, I'm going to now put the tip on the new point that I made. And I'm going to come down and touch that line again. That creates another new point. For the second time in a row, how many points do I now have on the paper? 3. I have 3. So far I have 3 points. I have the black point that they gave me, and I have the 2 blue points that I put on the paper. With the idea that when I draw this 4th point somewhere up here, that point will allow me to make a parallel line with the line that was already there. So again, keeping the same distance. Now I want to draw an arc from the last point that I drew and the original point that they gave me. I never changed the distance.
Wouldn't you have to change the measurement?
Huh?
Wouldn't you have to change the measurement for the last one?
Why? Remember, again, you're the one that answered the question before. I even told you, what am I really constructing? Like, if I wanted to actually connect all 4 dots, what would I have been constructing? Yeah, I'm really constructing a rhombus.
Mine doesn't go through the X.
It's not supposed, nothing's supposed to go through the X. So you started off with the X, you came perfect. Then you go here, you came through, perfect. You came here, Perfect. Now you go to the X. Ta-da. Now connect that point with the X.
I don't get it. Like, how did you get the third one?
Let's try it again. I'll go nice and slow, but no matter how slow I go, if you are not looking at me, you're not going to get it. The entire time, once I've hit an angle for the compass, I'm gonna leave it there, right? So the first thing I did was I came and I made an arc where it crossed there at M. And then all I did was I kept that same distance and I went around the world. I then put the sharp tip here at the point that I found. That gave me this arc. I came around to here, to the now the third point that's on the paper, and I made a new arc. And then the last thing I've done is now go back to the original point that I started with, and now that I have something to aim for, wherever that crosses that third arc that I drew, that's where your parallel line's gonna be. Let's see if it works. Watch. Let's try to use technology again to prove that this works. I'm gonna try to draw a line that overlaps. Would you agree that this black line that I just drew is overlapping the line that's on the paper? So if I just get this and drag it up, it should cross
I would agree.
to the point in the arc. And it's a little bit off, but that's more due to just the imprecision of the tools I'm using. Your tools are more precise than mine are. So it's touching. At least it's touching both of them. It's not going to the perfect center, but it's touching. That's too far. That's too far off. How about here?
Alright, compass is set like that.
Just come to here.
Look at it.
Here, that. And you come to here. That and that here. Just going around the world. That's it. That intersection with the X. Any questions there? Yes, Sean C. Oh, yeah.
I can't get him in the line. Ready. Aim, fire.
Put it through the hole.
Good job.
Hey, it's up.
Choppy, yo le
How you gonna chop it?
Yo le Alex.
You tell me Alex.
Talking to Alex.
You're weird. Something in chat.
Alfred.
It's like how you can spend these.
Aye.
D, triple test as well.
Alright, do my part.
Wait up.
Are we all listening?
No, I'm listening.
That's really great.
I got you.
It's just a reflection of my work here.
Nah.
It's like a reverse shadow. So you have like black shadows going up down. White shadows.
I ain't got nothing ink in this.
What am I giving to you? I don't understand.
For this one here, we can just follow the directions. This one I found wasn't too bad, so let's just practice. We haven't done this yet, so let's practice following the directions for this one and see if we can at least understand them. So place the compass tip at point A, so that if you do decide to do this one on your own, I'm gonna put the tip at point A. Using any compass opening less than the length of M, draw two arcs intersecting line M on both sides of A.
We don't have a plan.
This is now, keep on going.
That's mine.
On God.
Oh, perpendicular.
Give me yours.
I got it.
It's not like it. It's just so weird.
So, in order to get this to fit, open it up towards the shorter end. So what they're telling you to do is now touch line M on one side with the same distance, and then without changing anything, keeping the tip exactly where it's supposed to be. You might even be better off just drawing a circle, so that way you don't mess around with the distance. Just basically just do the whole circle around there, so that you're touching line M twice.
I like that.
And it tells you to label these points C and D. C and D.
Mine's broken anyway. Thing's not stationary. Give me a second. Give me. No.
Have we gone this far yet?
Hold up.
So now,
I was going to you here.
go to those points C and D and open up now you will change the compass. You want the compass to be basically further than A, but not as far as C. So somewhere in between, like C and A. Draw light so you don't get all these arcs confused. Draw it light so you don't get confused with all the arcs. We're about to, I haven't drawn any, but I'm about to draw the same arc. So like,
Yo.
I don't want you to get confused with that. So now that I have it between C and A, just draw the same thing. This is actually what we've already done. We're just drawing out perpendicular bisector. And the same close again on me. Oh wait, maybe it's this.
Yo.
What am I trying to break my record?
Did I see what it drew?
Why did you break my record so?
Now I
What it drew, bro?
why you
I'm trying to draw a circle with his feet on the spine.
swear I didn't touch your
Why what the fuck?
Why are you cursing? I did not touch your mouse.
You did. I wasn't here.
Stupid pencil. Why negative?
Alright, hopefully I can get one of these done before the ball rings, and then that'll be it for today.
You can do it. Yes, you did.
You have no.
I went to the restroom. And that was not for.
The one you couldn't
Stretch.
He's just all the time.
No,
Stop.
You really did, but I was there. I watched it.
It rolled from there to there. He stretched accidentally. It fell.
You
You
kicker here.
right here.
Yes, you
Why are you
Alright, so let's try this again before we leave.
She's being a nerd.
How much of it broke up there?
She probably bruised herself.
Okay, so you should have opened this far enough so that if you were to draw a circle, it touches. If you were to draw a circle, it touches the line twice. And then now, they told you to call one of those points point C and another one point D. So now just go to each of those points, like we're just drawing a perpendicular bisector, which is what we did at the end of the last class. Now go to D, or don't go to D and then just afterwards complain that it's too hard and you don't understand. And open the compass long enough so that it looks like it's where it's going to hit the line somewhere between C and A. Somewhere between.
Hold on.
So further than A, but not as far as C. And then draw an arc. You don't have to draw the full circle, just draw an arc. And then now do the same things. From C. Go and draw the exact same arc from C. For those last two arcs, keep the distance the exact same. So when I take everything off, those where the two blue arcs intersect, it should also go through A, and it should be perpendicular. So I'll draw a vertical line, and then let's see if it worked. It's a little off because I think my thing shifted, but the same thing shouldn't happen to you. So just touching it twice, just open it up. So that this goes. And you guys are doing your arcs way too dark, by the way. So just some pressure there. And do that. See.
They don't like that, right?
Alright, I need the compasses back, I need the straight edges back. You have all day tomorrow to work on this. If you happen to have a compass at home, I'll do the same thing on Wednesday, and hopefully I can finish all of these.
And you just